Good evening, YouTube. What the crap's going on? Yes, I've been gone for a couple days. Had a quick getaway with Mrs. Air. It's good to get some time, and I apologize I was gone, but here we are back with some more Wood Elves build. Many of you asked me, can we have more Wood Elves? I didn't know people wanted so many Wood Elves battles, so this would be another interesting one, and sure enough, Durthu shows up. Let's take a look at the Wood Elves build before things get too crazy here, and I want you to see who they're up against, which is the Dark Elves. So, just real quick, we are a little behind the last few days on hitting towards the subscriber goal at the end of the month, but we're not much behind. We only need 1,200 subscribers, and we really still have quite a bit of time. It's 11 days, so you all can do the math there. We can easily do it. So, hey, hop up there, hit that subscribe button, and to entice you all in a little bit to hit the subscribe button, I am going to drop some Steam cards into the comments of new released videos. So if you want to get yourself a free Steam wallet code, then all you have to do is make sure you have subscribed and click the bell to be notified, and then hurry and get to those comments, and you could walk away with some cash to spend in the Steam summer sale. So get yourself here, get excited. We're almost there, folks. 250K, big celebration coming your way. Anyway, Wood Elves build. I need to still keep this here. They're going to have a front line of Eternal Guard. They do have some Loex Tricksters. These are some War Dancers with Azrae Spear in the back. Going to be nice support for a back line. Got Durthu. Durthu has not just kind of the normal stuff you'd expect from him, like a Flock of Doom. Wait a minute, it's probably Doom Flock. I always back this one up. Yeah, Flock of Doom. I actually said it right for once. He's got Flock of Doom, but he's also got Transformation of Kaidan, which is going to give him the summon of a Manticore. He has the Hawkeyes of Drakira. Interesting unit with this one. They have this Hawkish Precision ability, so if no enemy presence is in the ability range, then they get extra damage, and it's really, really nice effect that they have going. In any case, let's take a look at the rest of the units here. There is a Forest Dragon, and then there are 3 Glade Guard with Hagbang tips. So most of the Elven archers are going to be riding. Now check that out, that weird animation. Some of them like don't have a bow, or it's like that's pretty funny looking. There's like arrows sticking up in midair. CA, please. Anyway, yeah, we've got these 3 Glade Riders with Hagbang tips. Now for the Dark Elves, there are 2 Dark Riders with shields that are helping to fend off some of these. There are 2 Cold One Knights. There is a 3rd Dark Rider with shield here in the back, so that is a lot of cavalry. Pretty good idea when you're coming up against a faction that can field so many archers. There are 2 Shades with dual weapons. These are going to be heavily outranged by the Wood Elves. However, they are very good against Wood Elf infantry in melee, so kind of a sensible pick in that regard. Now, Blackheart Corsairs will absolutely take a dump on Wood Elf infantry. They are decently armored and do heavy damage with anti-infantry bonus. However, they don't have shields, so it is a risk-reward there. There are some Bleak Swords and Dread Spears up front. Malekith is rolling around on a Velociraptor, and if I remember right, his spells, he's got this Gaze of Malice. I almost said Glaze of Malice. It's like he's been to Krispy Kreme or something. Yeah, so that is going to be Malekith. Let's hit play. There's also a Reaper Bolt Thrower right here in the middle. So the Wood Elves will be outranged, but they have a very nice skirmishing component here. You can see here these Glade Riders. This is an odd one here. I want to pause something and show you all. This is something that's been happening in Total War for a little while now when you have Missile Cavalry. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to turn Total War into a Missile Cav kite spam. But this did not ever work. Well, okay, comparing this to Rome 1 like I was about to is probably a mistake because you didn't have poison archers and stuff riding around on magical elven steed. But in any case, yes, this is a poison missile unit. They are 94 speed, and they are being caught by a Dark Rider who's been poisoned down to 70 speed because the Dark Riders are on a charge speed right now. So units have a special charge speed, and when they get close enough, they enter that animation. And it's just a very odd thing that part of the purpose of a skirmish cavalry like this one would be to keep another one from catching it because of the poison arrows, but they can't. Now, those Dark Riders do end up routing. I don't know, it's a weird thing. I think CA needs to address it somehow, but I think you also have to be careful how you address it. It happens in lots of situations, not just skirmishing, where units that shouldn't be able to catch something do because they hit that charge speed. And I don't really know a great way to address it, but I kind of wish they could. You're going to see the Wood Elves here moving up. They would probably favor getting into engagement range rather than being shot up, but right now they do have some favorable engagements. and that is going to be these Hawkeyes of Drakira being able to use their range against the Shades. Here's going to be a transformation of Kadon, a good way to keep this Reaper Bolt Thrower from just laying down a beating on Durthu, which is exactly what's happening right now. Reaper Bolt Throwers are gruesomely effective against anti-large. Very, very good. They're also very good against artillery. So you can see the Dark Riders looking for more. And we've got the Feral Manticore here, which is going to dive bomb into the Bolt Thrower. This is a good way to keep the Dark Elves' attention somewhere where you don't want it. Out here, the Dragon is helping to protect these Glade Riders, which have gotten hit with Word of Pain. It's going to take away accuracy. It's not bad. Not a bad way to nerf them. Better if it was something that hurt their speed, but you take what you can get. So the Eternal Guards are going to come engage the Dark Elf Infantry. Bleak Swords and Dread Spears. I mean, that's probably a pretty close match. Eternal Guard may win it because they have a little bit of armor piercing, but I've not really studied the stats out in great detail there. Here, the Blackheart Corsairs should put down a pretty severe beating, but the Dragon and other units for the Elves, or the Wood Elves, should be able to help make a difference. This Feral Manticore summon was great. Traded it for an artillery piece because the Dark Elves were too slow to react and get help over to the artillery piece. Durthu, meanwhile, joins the fight against the Bleak Swords. Good place for him to try and get in and cause damage. And then the Dragon hitting these Blackheart Corsairs over here in a fight that otherwise they would win. And it's even drawing in more Blackheart Corsairs, which is good for the Dragon. Especially good that it's not these Cold One Knights. Of course, if the Cold One Knights did come, the Dragon could just retreat through his own spearmen to get back in the air, and it wouldn't be a great attack vector for the Cold One Knights because there's also some Hagbane tip Glade Riders out there. Now we've got another Manticore summon, yet this one is kind of just left up on its loft. And then over here, Malekith and some Cold One Knights are able to get to Durthu, but Durthu has the protection of Loex Tricksters. And the only trick that's going on here is a lot of Velociraptors getting hit with a double-edged, pretty awesome looking spear by these Azrae. But they are not able to hold down Malekith, and Malekith is going to give chase, and another unit of Cold One Knights is pouring forward, though this one back here is getting straight wrecked right now by those angry sisters. And again, the Feral Manticore needs to be down here on these Shades, and then after that artillery piece again, it is not at the moment. The Hawkeyes of Drakira here, very, very lucky that this Cold One Knight did not peel off in their direction yet, and they realize this and then start to back off in order to gain some distance, though right now Durthu does need some help. He'll get a little bit from this Eternal Guard, but there's even more Dark Elves coming in. Fortunately for Durthu, though, the Dragon is faster. He's going to get there and try and save his giant Tree King. And over here, the Manticore finally dives into battle, but not before it's run berserk by the Shades. But at least this is keeping the Shades away from parts of the battle where they could be more useful, like picking off these Loex Tricksters or doing damage to the Forest Dragon. So the Wood Elf player is definitely staying in the game at the moment, despite the fact that the Dark Elves still have some relatively deadly units. At this point, though, when losing this cavalry, it's going to start looking pretty bad for the Dark Elves. Malekith is kind of exposed here, and these cavalry don't really have an ability to charge down these Hawkeyes because these other units were close by and the Hawkeyes can fire while moving. So this Cold One Knight is going to end up getting picked apart before it can do the damage it needs to. And now, out of desperation, Malekith comes after Durthu, but look how heavily he's nerfed by the Hagbane tips. Brings him all the way down to 336 and leaves him vulnerable to getting hurt badly by Durthu. And then, sure enough, the Dragon comes in and makes good on protecting his lord. And Malekith is going to be promptly removed from the battle here by an angry Forest Dragon. So yeah, not a place where Malekith likes to end a battle. At this point, the game turns pretty heavily in favor of the Wood Elves. The Dark Elves have nothing left to stop a dragon with. They do still have these Shades, but there's nothing to protect them from the Hagbane tips and the dragon itself being able to fly in before they can kill it. So, a fun battle. Interesting army picks by both sides. I actually feel like the Dark Elf army had some different paths to victory because they had quite a bit of anti-large. Those Hagbane tips are going to be annoying for sure, but I think if the Dark Elves use their artillery to pick at the right targets, probably the dragon or Durthu won. But I don't know, it's a tough call in the end for the Dark Elves because the Wood Elves definitely had a ranged advantage, right? The Hagbane tips are quick, they can get in and out, hit and runs on the flank. And then having to deal with the Forest Dragon is an interesting proposition. You definitely need the Cold One Knights to do it. So I think the Dark Riders were used too early and may have been better Vanguard deployed, right? So hear me out on this one. If you Vanguard deployed those Dark Riders to start behind the Wood Elves, maybe they could have caught the Hawkeyes of Drakira and been in a better position, because they really don't want to be facing directly into these Glade Riders with the Hagbane tips. And then the Hagbane tips would probably come in looking to pick at the flanks. If the Reaper Bolt Thrower could get some damage done on basically any of the large units here, Durthu, the Dragon, the Hagbane tips, whatever they want to do, just let the infantry get a relatively clean engagement and keep these Cold One Knights very close with Malekith to go attack either Durthu or the Dragon as needed. You got to keep them separate so they can get in here and have a chance at getting at either one of these targets, because they really needed to let their infantry, namely these Black Ark Corsairs, they really needed their Black Ark Corsairs to clean up some of the some of the Wood Elf infantry if they wanted to have a chance to finish things off. But yeah, Malekith was getting a pretty good shellacking at a point in that battle by the Dragon. And then when he gets poisoned, you saw how much it takes down his weapon damage. It goes all the way down to 336. And that's a huge deal because he just can't inflict as much damage. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed this one. Thank you to Crumbled Schnitzel. Man, that sounds pretty good. Get some schnitzel. And then IPL. Appreciate both of them playing this battle. It was fun to watch. I wanted to show this one because, again, it's a little bit of a different Wood Elves build. It's fun. It comes with Durthu. The skirmishing part of it is not like a big-time kite build. There's ways to play these guys without kiting. I know, it's hard to believe, but there is, and it's fun to play. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that one. Thank you to both players. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed. Let's get to that goal, folks. I'm super excited to share with you all what the celebration will be, but like I said, as part of the celebration, if you're subscribing now and turning on the notifications, there's going to be some Steam wallet codes. Not every day, but some days this week, I'm going to be leaving Steam wallet codes in the comments, and the best way to get it is to be in that notification squad, folks. Anyway, and I will release some videos at some different times of the day. That way the people throughout the different parts of the world have a chance to be first to those comments. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out. I will see you all soon.